This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good afternoon. It is 12:03, and this is the Senior Center Building Committee for Wednesday, April 24th. Not Thursday, April 24th. We'll call the meeting to order. Come on down. All right, open time for the public. No one's here from the public. Okay. Approval of the minutes. Any questions or comments on the minutes?
Comments, well, she does a fantastic job.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. I approve.
You're worth every
She did
penny.
a bad job.
That's right, you could get stuck with it.
I already am, I think.
I think so. Okay, so then do we have a motion to approve?
I make
Yes.
the motion. Make a motion to
Nate,
approve. the
Darcy,
minutes.
second.
Yeah.
Christina. Any other discussion? Otherwise, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, good. Okay, next steps. Update on negotiations. So, would you like to speak? I can speak. So, yesterday, Scott, Chris, and I met with the owner of the property, and we have come to an agreement at our max that we were allowed to approve by this group of $600,000. So that has been agreed to. There are a couple things we'll work out on purchase and sale agreement about exclusivity to the senior center. Which is obviously our purpose and the purpose of the money. So we just have to work that into between the lawyers and figure that out. But we have gotten that verbal to go ahead with that number at the annual town meeting on the 7th, May 7th. So
I have a question. There's no issue with it being more than the appraisal?
no, I think the town has the ability to go up to
You can, okay.
25% of the appraised
25%,
value.
okay.
So we're way under that. So
Okay.
it's
Cool.
I think considering where
What
he
was the
started,
appraisal at?
575.
Oh.
So I think where we started, he came down significantly.
Yeah.
And I think he has a strong feeling that he wants to be, part of this success.
Yeah,
So
that's
that was
great.
very much appreciated.
Yes,
on
we
our
appreciate
part.
that.
So that will be entered in. It wasn't on the select board meeting last night, but is there any other discussion that we need to make a motion to
Who's the third
accept that?
person? Janet, Scott, and
No.
Darcy.
Chris.
Chris.
Make a motion to move forward?
Motion to move forward. with the
Okay.
purchase and
Second.
sale.
Then a second, and all in favor of approving the dollar amount?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstain? Great. Scott, any luck on the wetlands delineation that was supposed to be in yesterday?
No, haven't received it yet, unfortunately. So I'm
Okay.
gonna keep bothering them.
There's a couple flags in the middle
Okay,
of the field.
of the field
Did
itself?
not like.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, we'll
Well, I don't know which
Yeah.
boundary it is. I drove
Saw
by
a
and
couple
like,
flags.
over near where the parking lot was or something like that. So
Okay.
I think we need it before the meeting. We need to
Well, yeah, I mean,
know.
there'll be contingencies even in the purchase and sale agreement.
Okay.
Even if we get the approval to move forward, there will be contingencies in the purchase and sale agreement that subject to, and the wetlands is one of those.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That it meets with our preliminary design or something, that it's not restrictive or whatever the language is. Okay.
I think you mentioned it briefly, but the only new thing that we heard from Ryan was that he just wanted the assurance that it would be used for a senior center,
Yes, yep.
and nothing else. He didn't want to come around in 10 years and see that something else
A
was put there.
Starbucks had moved in or something.
No, we don't want to see that either.
Or another town building.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, our restrictions are based on
Yeah.
the will and
Will,
what that
right.
money is designated for, so we
Yes.
didn't have any concerns about that. Anything else, Krista?
No, that was it.
Okay, so that's good news, but again, there will be contingencies in the purchase and sell that those it has to be, meet our building requirements in order to move forward, but it does give us a dollar amount to put on the warrant, or the article, so, all right. So, handouts for Darcy, did you have a
I was
question?
just going to say, quick question. So what happens if, as what you said, possibly some wetlands areas in the center? I mean, we could have them, duplicated in another area, but if it's like a big hindrance on putting a building in, if we've already gone to town meeting, how does that?
I'll let the two bosses at the end of the table down there.
So, yeah, so everything would be contingent on purchase and sale. So if there's like a title flaw or environmental damage that we found, or if our building doesn't fit, so the agreement would be null and void.
Okay, so then the town, so basically that town voting to give that money would just be put back, and we would have to go back again for another property?
Well, they're not appropriate, they're only authorizing the select board to enter into the purchase plan. So
No, I mean, okay, so we'll have all that before we go to town meeting, correct, okay.
Yeah.
Before we go to what town meeting?
The May town meeting,
May 7th.
Oh, we will have.
Yeah, should.
because that would be
Yeah,
the
oh,
only
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
if
yeah.
we already have.
Yeah, we already have a draft purchase and sale, so we
Yes.
just have to put in the numbers down, and a couple of things like you mentioned for this, exclusion kind of
So
language.
we probably will have to have one more meeting to go over the wetlands and all that.
Before the annual town meeting, or, I mean, it's, even if the money's been approved by the town to move forward at that location, it's gonna be based on, I don't know I'm forgetting what the article specifically says, but, and maybe it's not in the article, but,
So, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to acquire, by gift purchase in eminent domain, a certain parcel of land.
so it doesn't say where the land is?
Oh, yeah, look at it.
Okay, okay.
So,
But does it say contingent upon or anything? Not there, it would be in,
It'll be in the purchase and sale, but if, like Darcy said, if for some reason the wetlands come back and we determine that it's not buildable.
on such terms and conditions as the select board may deem appropriate, taking the action.
so, yeah, I mean, so at this point, so right now, you're not putting the dollar amount in the actual article. It'll be in the
Explanation or whatever.
explanation part. So the motion also that we read at town meeting won't give the amount either, but it will be, so there's the article, then there'll
The
be
motion.
the motion that we read out for people to vote on, and then underneath that, in the written document that everybody will have, is a paragraph of explanation about what's this all about. And so it's there that dollar amount will appear.
Okay.
But the specific location is in the article.
In the article.
Yeah.
So should we have a meeting for next?
I don't know if we need one. I mean, for the wetlands delineation, I don't think we need, I mean, once we get that.
And we can send it to the consultants and make sure that that's.
Yeah.
What consultants?
What consultants?
Who did the,
They're not under contract.
Yeah, we're not under
anymore.
contract with them anymore.
No.
Mm-mm.
The Langdon people? Who we talking- or-
Well,
or
we only worked with advocates, so.
I'd like to see it, if you would.
Yeah.
yeah, I would see if we could just get it to them, get their opinion on that.
I don't know that they're gonna do that.
Not without some.
Contract.
Well,
Contract.
and because then they're on the hook and they don't, right, don't have a.
They may not be the ones that are actually going
Right.
to build it too. so
Right.
They may not want to do that. Well, I think once we get it, we should certainly send it around to the committee and then,
I mean, is there an expert in town that can?
so what's our concern? That it's, the wetlands will take up so much space that we won't have enough room to build what we
Yes.
want to build.
That's
Right.
correct.
Right,
I can look at
If
it.
it's a teeny area, we
We
could
can work around
we
it.
can move it and
Right.
basically duplicate that area, but if you're talking, the whole center of the field or something, worst case scenario, then there's not enough room to duplicate it, or the cost would be prohibitive to do so. You know, it's just because we're kind of tight on town meeting.
Well, we can certainly have a short meeting before, you know, once we get the
Yeah, I mean,
wetlands back.
I mean, one would hope we'd get that certainly before the end of the week by now. I mean, they've been
Yeah.
promising it, right? So, I mean, if we needed a short meeting just to go over that, we've got time before town meeting, probably.
Yeah, I think before you came in, Darcy, like Jerry and I were actually talking, we might try to squeeze one more meeting in to finalize a couple loose ends for that, for the
Yeah.
meeting, but,
Yeah, I'm just, yeah,
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at
So we'll look at that.
May 7th
We could,
is
or May 1st or something is a
pretty
Wednesday.
quick.
so.
yeah, so we can,
Yeah, if you send it, yeah, I can take a look at it and try to overlay, maybe have somebody overlay the building layout as it stands over where the wetlands impacts are. That's what I just need to see is that map
Right,
they send.
okay, so we'll try to get that to you, and then,
Do a subcommittee maybe with,
well, I think
Or
that
just
if
Libby
if
looking
Libby
at
looks
it.
at it and then reports back to the whole committee sometime next week, then that's,
Yeah.
that's good.
you know, because we can't do that, I mean, even if we had a subcommittee, we couldn't then
Right.
make a decision without
Yeah,
having a full
gotcha.
I
committee.
think,
so-
I think no matter, I mean, unless that came out totally crazy in terms of lots and lots of wetland, I don't think it would call us to pull our warrant article.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
you
so.
I mean,
can replicate wetlands somewhere else.
Right.
You can dig them up, but it's just, it's costly.
So,
But you can do it.
Yeah.
It's not to say that you can't do it. Yeah.
it might be a
And
condition.
then the town would have to keep them as wetlands in that area and
Right.
it's maintenance.
It might be a
and-
condition as we go to Concom for permitting, right?
Mhm,
To have that replication of wetlands,
Oh, yeah.
if that is
Oh,
an
yeah.
issue. I mean, at worst, it would mean that maybe the size would have to be a tad bit smaller or reoriented
Right.
or something,
Yeah.
right? But it wouldn't affect us still putting something on the warrant, I don't think.
As long as it's not a large area.
Yeah.
Just without having the map, it's kind of hard to
Well,
say.
yeah, all those other maps just look like a little spot, you know, so hopefully that's not terrible, but. I mean, it used to be farmed, so. It used to be corn and hayland way back
Yeah.
when.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully
All
it's.
right, well, we were hoping to have it today, or yesterday,
Yeah.
and so that's why part of the reason we had the meeting today, so. All right, but yeah, I mean, those all critical points, we're not gonna buy it if we can't build that, so.
Not you.
So everybody have, Darcy did another kind of updates from the information that was provided at the previous meeting, and found a nice Google map.
Yeah, I like the map.
Yeah.
I love the map.
I have it up on the screen, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
So that's,
Yeah,
and
that's-
everybody has their, so, yeah, it's a nice, really caught the view of the field across the way. I mean, I made copies for everybody, so everybody could read it
So we don't
most
have to
clearly.
show the boundary of it, I don't
No, I
think.
don't.
I
think it's
went
probably
back
better
and
than
forth,
not.
and I figured it was just that kind of, it gave a
Yeah.
good
It did.
area to see.
No,
Are we
that's really
listing
good.
the acreage in the,
I can add the acreage in, I didn't put it in anywhere.
well,
We
is
could
it in
put
the article, not the article, but the discussion?
The summary things about?
Could be, we didn't.
I don't believe it.
That's another question though.
7 point however many acres, right?
Yeah, negotiations. Do we have a question about whether or not,
The actual acreage is.
We have had a question about that.
7.21 or something.
And
Although it's
then
often listed as
based on-
7.4.
Right, he has.
right, and then the easement, is that part of it or not?
That would,
Yeah.
because we would own the property, but
Right,
if
so the
any
easement
is the
so
road,
the
yeah.
easement would still be part of that main
Yeah, okay.
property.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing we can do with the easement area.
Correct.
Correct, but it's still our ownership,
Yeah.
but he has these. So we would own the entire parcel in the entirety, but he would have a right to that easement.
And we have
So
no
he
rights in
doesn't
that
own
easement.
it, but he doesn't,
I mean,
he has the easement, so it's,
So
It seemed like it would be really nice if we could have a joint usage and let that be part of our driveway as well as his usage too.
Well, I think if he's having, if he does develop behind and he has these big trucks hauling stuff in and out, I don't think we
What's he
want
gonna
to.
do back there?
It's an industrial area, he's a builder, so,
He has a lot of trucks.
yeah,
Big
he has a lot of
I
big
think it's
trucks.
better
Okay.
keeping it separate.
Yeah, I think
'cause then we
I
have
wouldn't
the
wanna
option
have
of
the-
Screening it with trees
Trees.
or
Mhm.
whatever, and yeah, you don't want to have that shared access, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think that
But
would.
it looks to me like we're buying property that we don't really own in practicality.
We're giving an easement on the property for him to
That we own.
access the back.
Doesn't mean we can't walk it. Doesn't mean we can't set foot on it.
Yeah.
I just want to get
Right.
out of the way when the
Right.
trucks are coming down.
If somebody
some
goes
point
on
in
there and
time-
falls and breaks their legs, can they sue us?
Probably, that's the question for the,
Yeah, so it's a 55-foot wide driveway essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is, so it's
Right.
not.
Are we legally responsible for
But
things
it's
that
over an
happen on that
acre.
driveway?
By the time you count it all,
yeah, it
it's
is.
over an
but,
acre.
Yeah, it's like, it's 50,000, about 50,000
So
square feet, so.
it depends how it's written up in the purchase and sale. Like if he's
Okay.
responsible, it should say in the purchase and sale that he's responsible for any improvements on the easement.
Right.
You know, and usually they have in there that, you know, say the road needed, they needed to come over to fan out the grade
Grade,
or
yeah.
whatever, but then that, you know, doesn't become part of the easement, but to make everything, usually in the purchase and sale, they'll have that.
Mhm.
In the deed, they'll have it, not the purchase and
I
sale.
think Dennis's other, you know, somebody from the group is walking up the road, or somebody from his, so the truck goes off and somebody gets hurt, who's responsible? We don't have liabilities for the easement if his vehicles are on it.
Yeah, that would be an
That's a
attorney,
Good question to ask.
attorney question
Mhm.
for
Oh, those are big trucks, you know, I mean, things happen.
maintenance.
Yeah, just, it doesn't hurt to confirm that, you know,
Yeah,
we
would
have
be
no
good to
liability
confirm
for anything.
Maintenance and liability.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to walk through it, or is everybody?
Looks good.
Yeah, I read it.
I think we made the changes we
made the
discussed
changes
it.
last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's any more changes, I did bring the computer so we can change them
Did you
now.
decide not to do that yearly bar thing?
So I did, and it looked really confusing because it just kind of, I don't know, I did mean to mention that. It seemed kind of redundant because it was mentioned, you know, the name.
We're gonna put a title down for Jerry.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
gonna put a
and-
title down here below the,
and
like a
because there
subtitle,
were,
like 24.
Yeah, like this
23,
year was 21 and
21,
22,
22.
and then it went to 24 and 23.
Right.
I just,
I think it's defined in the
it looked-
underneath, so
Yes.
I'm
yeah, it
I'm not
looked
sure.
kind of busy.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cleaner like that. But I can add it because I brought the computer to do that, but
Thank you for doing that, Darcy.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Let's see, on the second page, the second timeline, February 2023, joint, thought we decided wasn't capitalized.
Oh, right.
Okay.
And no comma. After committee.
I'm gonna let Darcy have the master.
There's no
so
comma after committee, is there? I don't think so. No
Joint
reason
meeting
for
was
it.
held with the, to discuss,
No,
yeah, no.
No comma.
No.
And then on the third bullet on March,
joint, no comma.
Over in the second one, wasn't it?
yeah, the second one.
Second, yeah, and for February, right, 23, and now you're on
Oh,
two.
So the comment
And
was
then-
what, after?
Yeah, joint should be not, I can't see that, is that capitalized?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no,
Not.
Darcy's changing it on her
Yeah.
master, yeah.
Right.
And then the
Do you want me to zoom
comma.
it in again?
Okay. Okay, so take out, I put the joint as
It
small
just should be
j.
small, oh, you did already,
Yeah, it-
okay.
She did
And
over there,
then,
yeah.
Took out the comma after committee.
okay, and then the third one, March, okay, and
Should there be a
there's-
period after North
that was
School
my
instead of,
comment.
Yeah.
and then, To date and requested.
You still have a comment after committee, other than that, right?
Yeah, it's not live.
She's not connected
Oh,
to
oh, I
this.
didn't know
This is
that.
me.
Oh, I thought you were
She's
clicking on
doing it on her
Okay,
computer.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So a period after Norris School.
Yeah.
Yep. Request. Okay.
Okay.
And then in page 2 will become page 3, and page 2 will be Red's.
So between the opening page and the map, you'll have the
You'd
the
have the
dedication.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the one we're taking it right out of the
Yeah.
the study, right?
One, one small thing, and take it or leave it, in the top black box, I'm just wondering, I just don't like that sort of straight line. I'm just wondering if we can put as of May 7th as a second line, kind of centered.
Yeah, I think that's a good
You
idea.
know, forget the hyphen.
Yeah.
And then just drop as of May 7th, 2024.
Yeah, it looks better. I think it would look
Just
better.
a stylistic.
To get rid of,
If you have room for it.
totally get rid of this, well, I mean, there should be, right?
So put.
Yeah, and then just
Keep
make
the
it
whole
as
thing
of May-
centered.
Center the whole thing, whatever.
Yeah,
Center it
you'd
all,
have to
and then
center the whole thing,
It
right?
should maybe work out, I don't know. Try it and see. Yeah.
I'm not making the minor changes, so I'll just,
All right,
the
no.
bigger ones I just,
Yeah.
because I don't work in PowerPoint, I work in,
Yeah, I think that would be good if you can do that, Darcy, that would be, I think that looks nicer.
Yeah, it does.
We did it.
where are you?
Project
Um,
timeline
For her to
Okay.
fill and show.
Type in with her right hand.
I know.
All right, Janet, how did you get it centered? It's kind of hit center.
You have to go to text or, yeah, it's in my,
I'm gonna center both of them.
I'm getting what I think is centered and it's not happening, so. I'll bring it over to you.
there you go. Okay, but this, I don't function in
No.
Word, so.
Oh, no.
Just back that one back up to the left-hand margin.
Yeah, the whole thing would have to be centered.
Right.
Oops,
Not that far.
project.
You're in the back, the
That's right.
field
You want me
went
to get it?
away.
Yeah.
Here, I'll let you get to it. Okay. Yeah, there's got to be something.
All right, you
So
know what?
that just
Are
lets you
Are
center
you
it.
on the live version, Janet?
I'm up there.
Because the live version that so you, as you send it.
Oh, the online,
So center.
Well, you didn't make the changes though that Darcy just did though. Libby's.
yeah, I haven't made the other ones yet.
Yeah,
Are you good with PowerPoint?
I don't know. Some days.
I'll just-
Yeah, I can.
Are you kidding? Okay, look at.
Yeah. It's just that things are a little bit different with Mac and,
I'm not good at it. It takes me forever to do.
You and your Mac.
much easier on a Mac. I couldn't find it. Okay, this one,
No.
and this one. I mean, if you, I was afraid to mess it up, so joint.
Yes.
So this ended up being 6 pages then. Do we take out some pages?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll end up being 6
Because
pages.
it was 8 the last time.
Yeah, so.
We had some things in there that-
We had the,
I have it.
yep,
It doesn't matter as long as, so,
we had taken out these pages.
oh, yeah.
Reading from the
Just to make
feasibility.
it simpler.
Said maybe less is better and kind of
Yeah,
touch
I
on
think
some
so.
points at the intro, speaking in support of. So I think I have everything changed here. We had the joint meeting and I took out the comma and then I added a period after Norris and we have abacus, anything else that, because I have changed, so
That's all
and I
we
can
discussed.
send this back to you.
And
Try
then
to-
I have,
You have
on
some
the
more,
last
yes, okay,
page.
go ahead, on the last page, yep.
yeah. Under February 2024, we need a space after the period after February. No,
Okay,
no.
so yeah. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not good with it, I don't do it all the time. so.
Nope,
I
I'm in
was
the
trying
wrong
to find
spot.
an undo, but I couldn't find the
It
end.
might be automatic.
Control Z is the end.
There you go. Should we say, town began their due diligence on the property? Should we say on the purchase of the property? Or is that, everybody
Yeah,
thinks that's
maybe,
okay?
maybe it's
Due
probably better,
diligence.
the purchase of the property.
Due diligence on the
Began
property
their
could
due
mean any.
diligence.
Well, I mean, the property is,
For
it
sale.
was the,
Right. So
the
I can go either way
wetlands,
on
the
that.
title search, so.
Is there a
Yeah.
period after
I mean,
perk?
you're doing the due diligence in order to purchase the
I don't
property.
believe so.
No, okay.
Right, and the due
Is it-
diligence.
I didn't know.
That's
it was
fine.
short.
So
Yeah.
then the next
It's
one,
It was accepted.
under March,
Okay.
I think instead of saying negotiations have begun, since it's past tense, we should say began. No, negotiations,
In
Began.
March.
yeah, began, with
Yes.
the landowner began, or something
Right,
like
because it
that.
already passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have began, no, just began.
I'm just impatient, for
You're not
God's
moving
sake.
fast enough.
Okay.
And then April, were completed.
Instead of
I
having.
guess it doesn't matter. Less words.
So nothing's mentioned about the survey on April 2024. Isn't that supposed to
We
be
didn't
done?
do a survey, we received a
found
survey.
the other survey.
So we didn't actually complete
Okay.
a survey.
But had the four corners been marked?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
When they went to do the wetlands delineation, they marked the corners for the property.
I
So
haven't been
don't-
out there, I'm gonna head out there after this.
Okay.
Maybe instead of due diligence on the property, due diligence of the property.
Or regarding the property.
Yeah, I like regarding.
Mark's next to you.
And since you have begun negotiations, do you want to put April that negotiations concluded, or do we need to say that?
Yeah.
In April, because
Yeah,
we
I mentioned-
negotiations, we have, property negotiations have been completed. Is that sufficient, or?
Yeah.
Or just work completed, whatever. We're gonna make it go back to were again, or? Okay.
Can you take away the space since we haven't had a space? on
I was
it?
gonna ask about that if we, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
Can't. I don't know why that is, but it's,
Oh, weird.
can we live with that?
Well, other than it's different. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but.
Maybe, no, let me.
Did you say were completed, not have been, but were?
I knew, didn't I just say that, or do we want to change it to were completed? Okay,
I think were.
yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, we could say the negotiations,
Yep, I think,
That one.
and that
That
way,
way.
Left
help.
your space, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why it's,
Did you
or
put
if
in the
you highlight
return?
it and set it on
No.
the sidebar, maybe it'll, like,
Yeah.
Somehow the spacing between those two lines
Mm.
must be bigger than going into
That
these
doesn't make any
files on
sense.
Publisher all the time.
yeah, I'm not sure why that.
I don't
That's
know
not
how
the
to
end
do
of
it
the
on
world.
Apple.
There you go.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Okay.
Okay.
little patience, we get there. Okay. Anything else? Annual town meeting vote to purchase annual.
To purchase the future, wait a minute, to purchase future senior center.
For the future, what?
Wait a minute.
Purchase 89 for the
Clark
future
Street.
senior center.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think that's good.
Did we
So-
make any changes on the previous ones that I didn't capture, so we have one. I did the joint,
And there was no comment after committee.
and no comma after committee, and then we changed this to period and abacus, okay.
That was it.
Was that
I
it?
think that was
Yeah.
it.
And nothing
Yeah, I like
else?
that, it looks good.
Nothing else on the other one that we made, other than the centering?
Yeah, if you can figure that out, I think it looks good.
Yep, yep.
So the thing on red would be the second page after the map, is that it?
Yeah, what, do you think we should have it after the map or before the map? Probably after the map? After the map,
Yeah, I think so.
okay.
I think the map's critical just for people to
Yeah.
really get a
And we
sense
could
of where
always
this is.
do
Should it be before
red at the very,
timeline?
at the very end, maybe. is
Yeah, I'm
the
wondering-
Yeah, maybe
Because
put it at the end.
Because people are gonna be like, why
Yeah.
is his biography here in the
Yeah,
beginning?
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So,
the very
yeah, so
last
last
page is a
page.
good suggestion.
That sounds good. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes it easier too for you to add.
Because I was like, how do I jump everything down?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I have saved this so I can get it back to you with the changes. Okay? So yeah, I think that it's a nice summary, our dedication. More of the summary, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and it is, that does make sense to have that on the last page.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Kind of.
place for it. It doesn't get lost in the middle, or in an awkward spot.
Yeah, 'cause you don't want people to kind of stop there.
So let me just see one thing here. This is done. Is this one space or two? Well, that's one space. Is this one space or two? Okay. Well, Chris corrects that
Right.
extra spacing there. Okay. All right, everybody's good with that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so, I'll close down this. Okay. Thank you, Darcy, again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the other part that I wanted to also, is regarding discussion, or the, it's not a handout, but it's, I'm gonna take one past these both. This is kind of an outline of things that, you know, off the top of my head, I felt should be included in the, who would like to stand and share, support, and speak in support of this article. I guess we should determine that today, who's going to speak, and I just wanted to kind of talk to everybody about what should be included in those kind of opening comments. So, and then determine the person to speak those comments. So, these again were my ideas, probably about 11 o'clock this morning. So, you know, things to include the current population and the percent of seniors in town, the number of residents between 50 and 60 that will certainly get to utilize this next. Kind of the current senior center is under 2,000 square feet, blah, blah, blah. You know,
Now, for limited use of kitchen, can you use anything in the kitchen?
yeah, we can make coffee, we can wash dishes, we can occasionally run a dishwasher, we can heat things up in the oven,
Okay, so you can.
but we can't make meals.
But you
Right.
can't make- Okay.
I mean, this is just my thoughts, again,
No, no,
this
I'm
is
just
subject
trying to
to...
understand, because,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah,
It's a-
It's not like it's totally, you know, totally stagnant, but it's not,
It's very limited.
and not the intention of, you know,
Right.
providing food for people that are food insecure, so we don't have that capability as a senior center. And again, the cost of land is increasing annually, that it's a first step of a multi-year process. Then we talk about the recommendations for Clark Street by the town residents as their preferred location. And then the quote from Mr. Sini, who won't be mentioned, but, I think that's always, it's a powerful quote, and I think it's important to share it for those people that weren't at the, or haven't looked at the feasibility study. And then I just also added that 88% of the online survey responded in favor of a new senior center. So,
There might be a little, I don't know, maybe it's the way it was said, but in the first quote there, after the ball game part, and I enjoy the game and am, and I. So there's something in that sentence that I enjoy the game and I noticed, so that there's an and am in there that shouldn't be there. It's the.
yeah, okay, we can, it was in the study, but
Yeah.
it's obviously
Is
not.
it?
I enjoy the game and I notice,
Yeah.
okay. Okay,
And I
yep.
noticed, Yeah.
Yep.
Want to mention anything about possible parking for the bikeway and future bike, or not? I mean, that was a big thing when we were
Yeah.
talking about it, where are we going to find a space to park, because
Yeah,
it's.
no, I think they're gonna be, as they're looking at the design, they're looking at seeing if they can find a spot down closer to Sheldon's.
Okay,
I mean, we can add one of the other things, Manhan Trail, is it the Manhan Meadows Trail?
Manhattan Sanctuary.
sanctuary.
Access to Manhan, walkable access to Manhan Sanctuary.
I think it is Meadows,
And then-
Manhattan Meadows.
Manhan Meadows Sanctuary, or?
Might be. Drive by and see it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no,
trail.
I always thought it was
That's all I
odd
can
because
see.
I haven't seen any meadow,
No, and,
but it's in the
right,
name.
I don't think there is any.
Manhattan Sanctuary.
Well, I think if you walk far enough in,
Manhattan Sanctuary and the Future Greenway. Future
Right.
Bike Trail.
in the future.
I mean, it's a shared use path, so it'll be bike and
Right.
pedestrian.
Right.
So if seniors say, well, I'm not gonna be riding a bike, whatever.
Right, right.
So it's a shared
Yep.
use,
But
whatever.
It is the Hazel Young Trail, part of the Manhan Meadows Sanctuary.
Yeah, Hazel's off of
East Street.
Brickyard.
Oh,
No.
Brickyard?
It's off of East Street.
She's off of East Street.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Well, what's off of, so it all connects to Brickyard? Because it says Hazel over on Brickyard, but,
Oh.
It goes all the way through, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
But I mean,
someday.
Most people know it from the East Street.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. So it's Hazel,
Hazel Young,
Well, you could just say Manhan Meadows Sanctuary.
okay.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah,
at
you
that.
don't have to put the Hazel Young.
Yeah.
Just
So
put
if
Manhattan
we-
Meadows.
We assign people, are we gonna like write out what we're gonna say and send it to along the group?
Well, again, this is just an outline that I
Yeah.
put together to help the process, and I think, yes, when we finalize, if we have a brief meeting next week, whoever is the person that's gonna speak in favor of, because I don't want to put my words in somebody else's mouth, it's hard to read somebody else's,
Yeah.
the way somebody else thinks and
Is
speaks.
just one of us speaking?
No, everybody can get to speak, I mean, there's gonna get questions that come up, and,
Yeah, I think there should be one central speaker.
right, one central
And then
speaker.
questions come up, maybe
Right.
We'll stare at each other and go, you wanna do that one?
who can handle it
Your
best.
turn.
I think the way Robert usually runs it, could be wrong.
One
but
person
Yeah,
gets
they'll
to
stand
speak.
up, one person in favor, so somebody from here is the main speaker about why to support this. Then he'll probably take a negative person. If there
And
is
you wanna
one.
speak
How does
against?
he know?
And
Oh,
then
that's what
That
he'll say.
he'll ask
Right.
that, yeah,
And then he'll go back, he'll alternate usually
yeah.
to another positive, or allow 2 or 3 positives at a time, or kind of depends.
Whoever
on-
ends up at the
Yeah.
second or third person that gets to the
Yeah,
mic.
Just follow his directions, I guess is the main thing.
But usually, yeah, one person speaks in favor.
Yeah.
The next person, you ask someone to speak. If-
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, usually,
Okay.
that's how it
Yeah.
starts. but
So-
we have to-
Okay, so anything else that you would think would be important to include in that? I mean, I didn't want it, we only have 5 minutes, so I mean, it's-
You're not going to have much time.
And
Should
people are
we
gonna-
say
Right.
that there was a feasibility, I know it's in here,
Okay.
but should we say that there was a feasibility committee that selected this property?
well, I mean, with the
Input.
input from the residents, I think, and that's kind of my emphasis,
That's number
is this
5.
isn't
Right,
just
but
a
we don't-
committee.
Does it say here that there was
Well-
a feasibility
Well, we could say,
report
read a
done?
quote from the March 1st, a quote from the March 1st feasibility committee public meeting or something, but they'll have the handout, so I mean,
Right.
and we can, I mean, I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other. And if you want to write it into what you're saying, Libby, like that, you can when you speak. She caught that.
And I think we'd have to, even though it's in the handout, the last part, 88% of the online survey responded in favor of kind of giving more of an like what survey.
Yeah,
are
and
we
it's
talking-
not in the handout.
Oh,
the
well, you're
survey
right.
was in
Well,
the
not the
survey,
number,
yeah.
but I mean, it was
Yeah, we-
mentioned a survey was done.
And actually,
but-
this is just, maybe we should include this, so it was kind of an afterthought. I think we should conclude with what the resident says as a quote.
Yeah.
So we could add this somewhere in the speech.
I think it's
the
good to
intro.
conclude with that, so that's the last thing that people.
The quote, yeah, this came
Well,
a thought.
The online survey that.
You think we should end with-
88%. I think
end with
that's
that?
a good thing to end
Okay.
with. So that
Beyond-
people have that last thought in their mind that 88% of the people surveyed.
Should we say the online survey conducted by Abacus? Or not,
I would,
Conducted during the feasibility study.
during the study?
Yeah.
Abacus during the feasibility study. I don't want to make it so long.
yeah, I'm
to
trying,
use
that's
the-
what,
I
trying
know.
to keep it short and,
Yeah.
because you only have 5 minutes.
Right. And you don't want to lose people. I think 5 minutes
I agree.
is a long time.
Yeah, and you're not intending to make a presentation.
Right.
No.
You're
Right.
just-
We just kind of speaking in favor of, and I think
Yep.
it's important to know that 88% of those
Yeah.
participants voted in favor of it, so. And I can also say how many said the current one was not adequate. That's the other one. So, any other thoughts about what might be included in it? That are key points?
I think, like to Libby's, like, yeah, maybe where it says recommendation of Clark Street by the town residents is their preferred location, maybe put in there, yeah, like after review of the study, the committee and, I don't know, like.
Yeah, that would be the spot to put it in.
Somewhere putting something in there to tie in that it wasn't just the study, it wasn't just the committee, it was a combination, like
Right.
everybody kind of concluded the same, that was the conclusion by the group.
I don't think it hurts either to say that there have been multiple groups looking at this, like somewhere, like we've looked at this through, you had people visiting senior centers. I know it's in here, but maybe we just reference this. I don't know. That there's been a lot of work that's been done on it. We didn't just like pull this out of a hat.
So as part of the feasibility study, town residents concluded that something?
Yeah, maybe that's all you
Yeah.
need.
I mean, I don't know. What else?
I guess
Yeah,
if
they-
people start asking questions, that's when you can.
That's exactly it.
Right, yeah.
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 Yep.
Again, this was just, I just wanted to outline something
Yep.
that
Yeah, I think
I
it's
wanted to
great.
run by
Yep.
everybody as to,
Yeah.
if anything. So the next step is someone to represent our group to speak in favor of. And, and personally, I've been kind of the voice for a couple of years now, and I think it would be beneficial to hear from someone other than Janet Kane for this first step. I think it would be more impactful.
And maybe it's the co-chair.
Perhaps the co-chair.
He's not smiling.
Yeah, I guess I
perhaps.
get, the only, it's like, Christine and I sort of just came on this. I mean, December of '23, maybe January '24. And other people have a clear, in-depth feeling about how this is all played out. That's the only thing I have. I'm sort of new. I am new.
Which sometimes is refreshing at the
It
same.
can be refreshing,
Other than if
yeah.
it's spelled out kind of what you're
If
saying.
you're reading kind of what this, and then you're done, then you sit down and you're done, and then maybe those of us that have been in this process
Like, I
for a
would
while.
think maybe where our newness comes in is we wouldn't be the first to jump in to answer questions first, depending on what the
possible.
questions are, obviously.
that's possible.
But if it's about the past,
Yeah.
that maybe we aren't the best people to answer questions, but the actual support part would be spelled out.
Not convinced.
I mean, I'd do it if that's what we feel we should do.
I don't want, somebody that's,
I think that's probably, I mean, it does make sense that you would kind of be able to read more of a scripted, where if there was a thing that came up, about the visits. Janet was on all the visits, where I went on some. I don't know if you went on.
I didn't go on.
But, or like something about, the property or something, more of an engineering, Libby may jump in. If it's something more of a value, I could jump in, so maybe that would.
Or something more about why can't we use the existing senior center?
Right.
Right.
yeah, you could certainly speak to that.
Yeah.
And the other question's gonna be, why not go where we're looking to buy property?
Yeah.
And we'll have to work through that answer, I think, because that's gonna be an important question, but there's so many other needs of the town, and based on the feedback from the residents, this is the direction that's been selected, so.
I think that's a strong one to have our answer on that ready, because that's gonna come up
Absolutely.
for sure.
So we may spend a little time going through some of the best answers for that question, so. Are you sure you're comfortable? I mean, this would be taking these bullet points and putting them in your words, Dennis.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that would be.
Yeah, just, like the statement from the person, I don't know that person, I don't know. I'm just reading it then,
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
than, I'm just
Yeah,
reading
that's
it.
the
Yeah.
responses you put this into, you Dennis-size it,
Yeah,
and,
And maybe that comment comes out if that's too lengthy to read, or.
it's
I don't know.
like half of what we have here.
it's such a powerful
Yeah.
statement that,
Maybe.
it depends on what
Can
everybody
we edit
thinks.
the
I think what
comment?
I've seen at other town meetings is that somebody stands up and says, I'm the co-chair, whatever, and on behalf of our committee, this is what we've decided to say in order to present. Maybe, is that acceptable, or does it have to be a residence?
You mean this quote itself?
No, what you're saying.
No, I think you're saying is this quote from the residents is very lengthy.
It is, it's.
But I'm just saying for your comfort, you're presenting it on behalf of our
Yes,
committee.
you're spokesperson
Right,
for the
yeah,
committee.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But I think this is, I don't, I think it's a powerful statement. Maybe because I bulleted out things like central to town, near Conant Park. I mean, maybe this says it better than that says it,
Yeah.
So we may not have both things there. I mean, we would work together on, sending it around to everybody and.
So the italics part is still part of his
Yes,
statement?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the strongest part of the statement is from my observation, one of the main purposes of a senior center is not to serve seniors, but to engage seniors with the town and the town with seniors. And I think that's a very strong statement. And a powerful statement, in my opinion. When he said that, I was like, I couldn't have said it better. So.
Yeah, if you tied that in, you could just say, this, for many of you that may not have been, this residence statement had summed it all up, or,
Yeah.
and then you can read it, so it.
Yep.
Jim will probably be there.
Yeah, I have to.
hope so. I can reach out to him.
Email, and I don't, I
I
gotta
have
go
his
knock on
email.
his door.
Yeah, I have his email.
It was down the street from me, so.
Yeah.
Who was this?
Jim Sini.
So the population and percentage of seniors and stuff, you want me to just do what I've done before without
Yeah, I mean,
that?
I just think that that's a good,
So we're not talking about
place
the
to
use
open.
of, remember, Christina was gonna reassess how many seniors have come into the senior center?
yeah, I don't think we need to do
We don't
that
need to
for
go
this,
there?
no.
Okay,
Not at this point in time.
all right.
I
Do
think
we
that
need
the
to include the
percentages-
projections tip for percentage or numbers from 10
Well, I
years
mean,
from
we talked
now?
about how many people from 50 to 60-year-olds will be entering into that. So how many, so that just, we don't know how many are going to be exiting,
Right,
but we know how many people are going to be
right.
joining us. And I
Right.
think that's another strong number. So in up to 10 years, the population could be, you know,
So if I say 35% of population in Southampton is over 60, would you want to know that only 16% of those people are using the center?
no.
I know, I won't mention that.
Nope, I think just kind of the factual things that are positive, in a positive light. You know, I mean, we know lots of reasons why people aren't, because it's just one room and, you know.
Yep.
I wonder if it's important, and again, not to try to make this any longer, but like under number 3, to even say, some activities are already at capacity. Like the class, there's a couple things we've now had us have wait lists for, because we don't have the space
Yeah.
to,
That might be good.
yeah.
Essentially. Or even just say, you know, the number of different classes we offer. You know, right now we offer 12 classes. You know, and, you know, 2 of which are waitlisted, or, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that would be more useful information for somebody, I think, than how many people show up.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to sort of solidify this at some later date?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to kind of draft something, you know, we can sit down together
Okay,
and if somebody
happy to
else and
help,
just
too.
kind of,
Okay.
and just, you know, if there's something that you feel should be in here that's not, or something that should be taken out that you're not, or when you go through it, is the flow's not good, then
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could say it aloud and see
Yeah.
what it's, see how long it is. and-
we can, you know,
What makes sense.
videotape you, you can watch it.
Oh, God.
That's a common thing.
I know it is.
But I'm not sure we have
It's
to-
embarrassing. but
Yeah.
it's not going to be that common.
No.
I mean, you know, and I'm not sure as far as, you know, cost of land is increasing annually. Those are my words, those are just
I
my
know.
thoughts. It's not how,
That might be a question.
Yeah,
A question
that-
and answer one rather than a
Yeah.
presentation.
okay,
Yeah, I think so too.
the cost of land, so delete that comment.
Keep it for a question,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, to be prepared for that question coming up.
I think it's critical to say something like, this is the first step of a
Yeah.
multi-year
Yeah,
process.
so I think maybe keep that first step of the
That's-
multi-year,
Yeah.
That sounds good.
process
I
in there,
think,
but
yeah,
we
I
can
mean-
take the other one out for, yeah.
Yeah, give the essentials for, you know, save some stuff for Q&A. just in
Yeah.
case,
Yeah. So maybe pop first step of a multi-year process down into like number 5, town residents as the preferred location. This is going to be, or something, you know, to kind of tie it in.
And then we'll fine tune it at the next, you know, at the next meeting. We really, we'll just focus on making sure this is tightened and this is tightened and we have the wetlands delineation and that'll be kind of a quick meeting.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, we'd be comfortable if questions come up about that
In general,
in general.
depending if they're asking me specific wetland questions,
Yeah.
then it might be a
Yeah, I mean,
different story.
obviously you can't answer, but, you know, I don't know, like
Yeah.
try to divide it up between everybody's
Mhm.
strengths.
So we have one more weekend.
But if anybody feels passionate about making a comment,
Yeah.
responding to
yeah.
a comment, no one should feel that, well, that I wasn't assigned to that, so. You know, so I just want to make sure. Yeah, I mean, there are certain strengths that is brought to the table, and those are important to rely on. So you want to take a draft at it, Dennis, and
Yeah,
send
I
it
could
to?
draft it. Yeah,
You can even send it to the whole group, we just can't
Mhm.
respond to you as a whole group, but.
right.
All right, everybody's good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Good with that? Unless Jerry wants to do it, of course.
Yeah.
I'm new not only to the committee, but to
To
town.
town. Okay, great. All right, and I, you know, I just encourage everybody to reach out to as many of their friends and neighbors that they can, they have them come to support it in, at the town meeting. I have a number of email addresses, group emails that I'll be utilizing to make sure that it's on people's calendars and we get people there to come and support this.
Now, I
initiative.
haven't, no one has personally come to myself or the senior center about needing a ride. So, I mean, that's still available if someone, indicates that, but so far, no one has. I put it on the front page of our newsletter that just went out for May about, come
We'll
out to
see
the
what happens
meeting.
next week, somebody.
Right,
may-
exactly. I'm not saying that, as people actually think about going, maybe that will dawn on them.
Right.
So. But yeah, let me know if people come to any of you too, so.
Okay. And I'll probably keep a quick comment of have handy the feasibility study, so if any comments come up that are in that we can address, we'll make sure we have that ready. Okay? All right, so I did, just kind of quickly.
Bye, Doris.
Bye, Doris. Good luck.
Thank you.
Just again, kind of laid out, just summarize real quick my conversation with ethics about fundraising, just to share with everybody. Of course, they only talk about me as a human being and my role. So if other people, I did send out copies of this, right? So, didn't I, or no?
No,
Maybe I
I
didn't.
didn't
Okay,
get that.
yeah, I didn't. This was another. So their recommendation was, in general, to have town council refer to opinion that's found at this EC-CO1 or COI-12-1. So if we decide we need to pursue that. Some of the other questions they asked, does the COA have the legal authority to receive funds as a result of a capital campaign and to solicit and accept gifts as per MGL Chapter 44? I'm like, I haven't looked at Chapter 44 lately, but, and then any businesses that are approached cannot have any matters pending against the municipality, licenses such as licenses, hearings, etc. And no favoritism can be shown when mailing letters to businesses or individuals. And then they thought, well, maybe, one loophole is not a loophole, but a way of avoiding any conflict would be, rather than having a targeted campaign and mailing to specifically, have an invitation online and drive them to a website or do something like that. Probably not highly effective per se, or maybe we can send a letter and encourage people to drive to that, but it's kind of not the most effective way to fundraise. That's like doing a mass mailing to all 50,000 residents, only when 5 of them care. And then confirm that the Friends can accept gifts and that we can accept gifts from the Friends, which this is their whole purpose in life, so I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah.
And does the COA board and the Friends have the approval from the select board to use the title of the town / committee in the solicitation? And we would need written permission from the select board to, if we were going to promote something on behalf of the Southampton Senior Center, that we have the authority from the select board to utilize that language. That was kind of, all I could grab that was English from our discussion.
Understand. So we have to check out MGL 44 then?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do that yet. There's.
So-
COI, I didn't even know this initiative.
Wasn't one of the questions whether people on this committee could also serve in the capital
Well-
campaign and stuff?
Well, they will only address me. Like I say, I'm the COA board chair and I'm the chair of the Senior Center Building Committee, so they will only answer to me.
Did they answer that question in here?
Well, somewhere in this
So we don't
legalese,
know
I
where we can
think.
extrapolate.
I know, I don't even know what you can do.
How can you extrapolate from that? You can't, really.
Well, I'm hoping if Chris and Scott are amenable to having the town council review this opinion and tell them, and then give their legal interpretation of that legal opinion.
So the question is whether you as a
My question was,
chair
is me, because I said,
can also serve on a capital campaign.
right, or work with the Friends to raise money, whichever we decide to do. So, yes, it's a tad frustrating because they can only address me in my position. So if somebody else wants to call and say, I'm a member of the Senior Center Building Committee, can I,
But I don't even
Fundraise.
understand what they told you.
I know.
I thought maybe it was me, so thank
No,
you.
no, it's not
It was all about
Is it
whether or
yes
not
or
you're
no?
a town employee.
No,
They
I
can't
said
say.
to her, I was hoping for a yes or no, but I guess we never get a yes or no, because that was my exact, I said it's not as so simple as a yes or no. So hopefully maybe with a little more research on
Janet,
this.
when you say a targeted campaign, was the definition or the idea of that to send out a mailing to only the seniors, or what?
No, targeted meaning, we're gonna go to this business and this business and this person and this
East Hampton
person
Savings Bank
versus
and-
sending an email out to 6,200 residents
Oh, I
in
see.
town.
I-
We really target companies and organizations and people that we think would be the most interested. Instead of just putting something on a website and saying, hopefully you find our website and make a donation.
Yeah.
So, or just do a generic flyer and say, we're fundraising, here's the website, please
We
visit.
kind of did do a targeted one for the pickleball group, didn't we? Wasn't that more targeted? What businesses do we know that were?
Yeah, that was,
We didn't cover every business in town.
right, that was kind of from the Friends, right?
Right.
Yeah,
But like, if you say, the bank, ESB,
Mhm.
that'd be targeted, basically.
Right.
They're not gonna go online searching for
Right.
people
Right.
requesting money.
well, I'm not saying this is what we should do, is
Yeah.
do,
There's an
post an
option there,
invitation and
yeah.
hope somebody
But-
finds it. I think we will need to do some kind of targeted campaign.
yeah.
So this is just me sharing with you their thoughts. So
I think
as much
you're-
as I could understand what she was saying at 100 miles an hour. This was
Yeah.
like a 15-minute conversation, kind of trying to, sitting in my car, trying to, pulled over to the side of the road, trying to capture the main gist of it.
Yeah.
And again, I concluded by, I guess it's not so simple as a yes or no. Though that was my statement as well.
What's your
So,
title for the Council on Aging? I'm just.
Chair of the board,
Chair of the,
Senior Center, or Council on Aging Advisory Board. I mean, are you appointed, are you elected? I mean, those questions I could answer, but,
Yeah.
it was, again, I tried to capture as much as I could. I didn't get anything in writing from them, it was just a discussion.
Well,
So-
it seems like we ought to be able to have, whether we could just look at it ourselves, kind of, on the
opinion.
44, and determine if they have the authority to receive funds,
Right.
or if we have to take it, to the next level. But it seems like that's a good next step, to just double check whatever they're talking about there, that we can come back and understand, whether we are eligible or not, based on that.
I sent you the email, Janet, for the COI 12 one.
Oh, you did? Just now? Okay. My other email address, no, we have 3.
Oh, cool.
Yikes. At least it's not 2 at the same time. So
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what that's, it feels to me, just back on the other thing, it seems to me it'd be more cost effective to try and do a targeted campaign, and more
Yes.
efficient in terms of
I think
percentage of probable responses, I think is,
The least waste of money in doing
yeah,
it,
that's what
so.
it feels like at a first glance.
And that's what other people said from other committees.
Yeah.
Does the town have like email addresses for, I'm guessing they don't have email addresses for all the seniors. Do we have, would a mailing to all?
Well, I think
everybody?
so most capital campaigns work like a pyramid, right? So you want to target the very few highest potential first.
Right.
And then when you want to do a mailing to all the seniors in town, that's kind of like after the fact when we've gotten larger donations. That with the little bit of that we have met with organizations that do capital campaigns as consultants is what they've recommended. Identify the top of the pyramid, focus on those folks for the largest dollar amount, the largest volume, and then work down the kind of the pyramid as to who wants to give $5 versus who can give $500,000. I don't know who that person is yet, but so.
And I think the logic there is that once the average person sees that there's been an effort made to raise funds and X amount has already been raised,
Yeah,
that just helps the motivation to get me, the individual, to put in my $50. You know?
yeah, because we're 80% or 60%
Something
or
like
whatever.
that, yeah, whatever that magical number is, but
Yeah.
it's a psychological thing in some ways, I think, too.
So I can send this out for Scott's message to everybody, so we have time to read it and kind of absorb it, and we don't have to decide that before the.
Right.
But I mean, I just want to make sure we can say that we're exploring the possibilities of, creating a capital campaign committee, or if it's a committee, or is it an informal through the friends and people that else would like to volunteer to working with the friends to help raise the money. Because if we get another committee in town, then we're again appointed, and, so it's, I think, if we can find an effective way for those interested parties to become members of Friends and to work with Friends to, I mean, they are doing some fundraising, but that is, like event fundraising, and we're gonna need to do some targeting, or someone's gonna need to do in order to raise any. If we look to do $1 million to $2 million. And I, again, met with John Vilas's, I met with Kevin today from John Vilas's office again, because Matt, who I met with, has gone to another.
You missed Senator Vilas.
I know, I heard he was coming. He said, he recommended the new director at Westfield is really good at grants, and so I have his name in my phone somewhere, we'll maybe reach out to him and have a little meeting with him and talk to him about grants, because that's what I was talking to Kevin about, was what kind of grants are coming up, and it's first, you do read the paper and money's tight, correct? And I'm like, yeah, maybe next year though, maybe we'll loosen up next year, so.
And just to note, Scott and I and Stephen from Select Board are going to a meeting on Saturday with Ann Gopi, who's the Director of Rural Affairs for Western Mass out of the Governor's office. So when the occasion comes, I'm sure we'll bring this up too. But I also had a phone call yesterday with it's another office that the Governor's created. It's Quentin Pelfrey's office.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what he's doing.
Federal Funds Infrastructure Office, FFIO, I think it is. Anyway, is with a couple of his staff, just to understand the priorities for fundraising for Southampton. So I threw in this, I threw in the public safety, I threw in municipal broadband, and so that they would keep an eye out for possible grants that they could direct our attention to. So,
and he's working more with the federal government in conjunction with the state?
It's for this, they're at the state level through the governor's creation, I think, but they're trying to figure out ways to better access all this federal money that we keep hearing that's available. The bilateral infrastructure bill and the bipartisan infrastructure bill, and the major Inflation Reduction Act, and all these big things where there's all this federal money approved, but it's like it goes to anybody through the state.
Right.
So the state is kind of wanting to know what some of the needs are of some of the municipalities. So I managed to get a couple people on the phone and at least throw Southampton's name in the hat so that they would have us on the radar, since they probably don't come to Western Mass very often.
No. But we do know that Quentin's been here at least twice.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When he was running for an office.
Oh, well, of course.
So anyway.
But not everybody makes it to
So just to say,
Southampton.
we're at least putting feelers out now, trying to, at least get the word out there. We're going to be looking for funds and having those that are more specialized in that to keep their eye out and direct us.
Okay, great.
If something comes across their radar that we might qualify for.
And then Senator Vilas's former aide, Matt, is now with Richie Neal, so
Correct.
there's some connection
Connect there.
to that too, so hopefully that'll help to some degree, so. Okay, I'll send this out so everybody can take a look at it, and we'll,
Great.
probably after the annual town meeting, we'll review it and spend a little more time on it when we're not having weekly meetings. So, okay. Dennis, you want me to send this to you electronically?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
I really literally
Other
do,
than that.
so. Huh?
Other than that.
Well, I know, thank God. You deal with pages or what? Okay, so, anything else for today that we need to cover? Other than scheduling our next meeting?
Yep.
So I know that Wednesdays may be a little bit easier moving forward because I do run a pickleball class on Thursday morning starting next week. Not that I couldn't make it here with my stomach growling, but I don't know how everybody else is for a schedule. If Wednesdays work, Wednesdays don't work, I don't know what.
Wednesdays work.
The two people that have lots of meetings down here. Is any day any better than another day?
No, Wednesday's okay. I mean, this time frame works for me.
Okay.
Midday.
A little later than, only because of our lunch.
Right,
Would be
right.
good, but.
I don't have Spanish till May, so.
Oh, okay, so we're good for May. Good, okay. And what time is that once May is over?
It's a question mark whether it'll even
Okay,
go on.
okay.
It's possible it may come back.
So we want to meet, so we have our board, COA board meeting on the 1st, so I could meet maybe at 12, is 12:30 good for everybody? On May 1st? Wow, May 1st.
And our only
5-1.
agenda items are really to understand what happened with the wetlands.
Right.
And prepare for
This,
That's
yes,
it.
and maybe some Q&As that we might want to assign kind of
But we
expertise.
should be able to stick to an hour is my
Oh,
question.
absolutely. We're just an hour and 15 minutes
Yeah,
today.
you're doing good, you're doing good.
Much pressure.
Other people speaking after, say, after Dennis speaks. Would
In
it be
favor of?
helpful, if you didn't want to say everything
Uh-huh.
there, then would it be helpful for,
Yeah.
Christine to get up and say, I'm the current, I'm working at this, we do this, and I stand up and say I was on, I don't know.
Yeah,
Is
no,
that-
absolutely. I mean, I think we can work that out, that if Dennis goes first and then somebody speaks a negative and then Christina or you that was on the
Yeah.
committee, those are,
But even I do recall, we had one at, I think it was related to the Greenway Hand or something, where, or the Housing Authority, the co-chairs, feels to me, two people stood up and one of them did kind of like half the presentation and the other one kind of finished it as the opening, but whichever way it works. And the only thing we have to remember, we have to get Christina on Robert's list.
yeah.
As an out-of-towner.
An outsider.
Right.
That's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
And,
But I think, starting off with Dennis, for example, and, doing that, and then, whoever the next person is, it's rare that we'll have two right in a row at the very
Right,
beginning. I think
right.
we'll go
But
positive,
everyone
negative,
that
and
can
then after
should.
that, it may be a couple of positives in a row. Would be
yeah,
fine.
first, and if nobody gets up to object, then
Yeah.
we'll go to
Sit
vote.
down quick and vote.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Ma'am?
don't
Somebody will get up
leave
and
Oh, it'll
ask
get-
a question.
okay.
Yeah, they will. People will get up. Okay. So 5-1 at 12:30.
Yep.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn today?
Motion to adjourn?
Dennis, second.
Second.
Christina, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers. This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.